Well, we've been discussing about the streaming wars on a constant basis. One thing I do believe, I'm putting this down today when you watch this video, that fast channels will be the ever victor of this. And some people will have to laugh because they say, "Well, how's getting commercials and stuff like that going to beat the streaming wars?" Well, here's the one word that you're going to have: free content. That's right, free content. When you have companies like Pluto TV, Tubi, Crackle, and many others that have been growing out of this, you're seeing a mass expansion throughout the world as each of these companies are starting to stretch their reception into other countries. Right now, you have Tubi moving into one of the larger popular markets on there, which is South America and Central, which basically they do have a lot of Spanish language content. And of course, anime in Spanish as well, as far as dubbed in Spanish, which is, anime is one of the top places in the world that enjoys anime, is Spanish, the Spanish language countries out there, especially Dragon Ball. They love their Dragon Ball in Central and South America on there as well. But one thing that not a lot of people have talked about is that basically, how much money are they making? Are they making any money? And we've had stories out like this right here on Madman with the Show on CutiCast TV. And we said that they're growing on, I think this year alone, Tubi's expected to do $800 million and go toward $1 billion next year. That's a lot of money in advertising rates on there. That basically they're going to be making that much off of advertisers alone. But overall, their total amount is going to exceed a surprising amount by 2023. But before we start, I just once again want to thank those who have clicked on this video. Who, if you haven't done it yet, hit that like. Don't forget to comment on there and hit that notification bell. And most of all, if you've enjoyed this content, and I hope today's the day I've earned your subscription on this channel, because basically we need to get to that 1,000 level. We're almost at 700. We're just right there shy. We're just getting there. So today's the day. Probably you will want to hit that subscription, because we do cover a lot of information that is not relatively covered by the mainstream media, and not enough YouTubers cover as well. From Cord Cutter News, Pluto TV, Tubi, Roku channel are expected to make over $6 billion in 2023. According to the most recent reports from Omdia, free ad-supported streaming TV channels have projected revenues to $6.3 billion for 2023. The biggest contender by far is the United States, comprising approximately 80% of the total market revenue. Although their foreign competitors are stepping up their streaming game, but will it be enough to overthrow their reigning streaming champs? The United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia are forecasting massive expansion rollouts during the next 4 years. By 2027, growth opportunities for ad-supported streaming channels outside the United States are estimated to be at least $1.6 billion. That's with a B. Although 3 of the 5 largest FAST markets are English-speaking nations, Canada, Germany, Brazil in 3rd and 4th and 5th place respectively, will offer mainstream FAST opportunities for their non-English content. Maria Ru Arguelles, Senior Director at Omdia. Between 2019 and 2022, Omdia released reports stating that the ad-supported streaming channels revenue grew 20 times and shows no sign of slowing down. By 2027, growth is expected to reach, if not exceed, a combined $12 billion international ad-supported streaming market. Omdia estimates increases international revenues projected by 2027. The breakdown expectations are currently top performing countries. The United States at 10 billion plus, the United Kingdom at 500 million, Canada 300 million, Germany at 200 million, Brazil at 100 million, and Mexico at 93 million. While Omdia researchers show an incredible growth expectations for growing number of international streaming services combined, they still do not come close to the ad revenue generated by the United States alone. Brazil's revenue projections represent approximately half of all the Latin American streaming markets and bring a total network of 207 million in 2027. Ad-supported streaming services are budget-friendly option to the other paid subscription platforms. Other than a more limited catalog of content, the only difference is the occasional ads played while streaming. It's a way for customers to both cut cable costs and numerous streaming platforms. Subscription fees while still be able to fully enjoy their favorite films and series. Now, the thing about it is that a lot of these companies are starting to grow their catalogs. Now, Roku's still growing, and since the takeover over at Crackle, they're starting to grow theirs as well. But Tubi TV has a lot more content than their competitors at Netflix. You know, this is the point, and as it says in here, the billions that's going on, this is killing other companies such as MGM. I mean, you go to MGM Plus, there's not much on there, really. Peacock, Netflix, Disney Plus on there. Paramount owns Pluto TV, so a lot of the money they're funneling into there is what's keeping Paramount Plus alive on there. So they're just funneling everything on there, but Pluto is large in itself. I'm on Pluto a lot. I've been watching all the Stargate series on there. You got Star Trek Voyager, you got Star Trek the original series. You have Deep Space Nine. You also have the Next Generation. You have the classic Doctor Who episodes on there. Dark Shadows. There's a lot of anime in there. Kids shows, horror films. There's a whole abundance of programming, and also on top of that, there's Paramount programming on there. It twists people away from Paramount Plus because they eventually will see it on Pluto. It's the same thing. Picard season 3 was available on Pluto TV after this season ended. So, like I said before, this is where the growth is. This, all these companies that are sitting there that want to add ad-supported content and still charge, they're going in the wrong direction on there. Fast channels is the way. This is how you're going to pay for that. People are going to, this is what's going to be the push away from linear television to streaming. The linear commercials and stuff like that, it's going to continue on fast channels. People are going to still want the commercials on there because if it's going to give them free content, I'll take a couple of commercials here and there. The only thing they have to do is stop being very repetitive on the same commercials. Rotate those commercials. You can do it, and it is possible. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this. Tell me strongly on there what your feelings on there. Am I right that the fast channels will be the victors of the streaming wars? Because, we still have a long way to go. But hey, listen, they are growing at a fast rate. So remember, pass this on to your friends on there. Share it on there. Let them know what's going on. And hey, listen, like the video. It helps us in the algorithm as well. And if I've earned your subscription, please hit that subscription bar. I really do appreciate it on all of our streaming platforms. We need to move up. So a lot of this information that is not relatively talked about in the mainstream media gets out there. So until the next video, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.